I guess I'll just repeat what Sherwin said. Go to the Google Play Store or Apple Store to download the 1017 The Truth app today so you can take the home of Milwaukee Black Talk with you wherever you are.
Can't listen live? Download the new 1017 The Truth app on your smartphone today to catch up on all your favorite shows. Search 1017 The Truth on your Google Play Store or Apple App Store so you don't miss out on any of the action. Listen to the home of the 5K Gruber Cash Giveaway. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue here in downtown Milwaukee. You can always text in or call into the show on the Truth Talk to Text line at 833-212-1017. Also, make sure you watch and stream us live on the YouTubes by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a subscription because I know how much y'all love the show. Good afternoon to y'all on YouTube. Good afternoon to Truth Nation on this beautiful Tuesday, Teacher Appreciation Tuesday. Do I want to expose myself? Should I expose? Oh, shout out to Rhea holding it down on the ones and the twos. As thank you so much to Zech for holding it down. Now I had to elevate women, more black women. So welcome, Rhea, back to the show.
Hi, glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here as well. Glad you are here as well. Now, Truth Nation, before I get into the show, so today or this week is Teacher Appreciation Week. I'm gonna expose myself a little bit, just a little bit. I'm gonna expose myself, and so I'm gonna expose myself because y'all may or may not know. And tell me if I'm wrong. Y'all can tell me 833-212-1017. Maybe I'm gonna go to jail for this. But this is Teacher Appreciation Week, and shout out to all the educators and the teachers and the mentors who are out there making a difference, helping uplift the youth through education of some sort. And so, as it being Teacher Appreciation Week, that means that teachers can go to different places and get discounts or free sandwiches at different places, and I just take notice, right? I come from a family of educators, and so I take notice of all the Teacher Appreciation Week. I let my mama know, hey, mama, you can get free food here, get free food there. And so today, for Teachers Appreciation, it was the day for you to go to Chick-fil-A. Now, I listen, I support the gays. I do. Chick-fil-A does not. but the sandwich is so delicious that sometimes I turn my back and my blind eye, and I still support Chick-fil-A once in a while. Now, today, being Chick-fil-A Day to get a free sandwich, y'all like Chick-fil-A, don't you? Nod your head. Everybody nod their head. They all eat Chick-fil-A. And so today was the day that they had a free sandwich at Chick-fil-A for educators. Now, y'all may say, Kyle, you're not an educator. You're not a teacher. I say, well, my ID says a little bit different. So for lunch today, because I have a very, very busy day today, I need to eat lunch. And y'all know I used to work at Marquette University. I did. I used to work at UW Parkside. I was an educator, and I still mentor a lot of kids. And so did I or did I not today go to Chick-fil-A to go get me a free sandwich? What do y'all think? Yay? Nay? I absolutely did. I sure did. I went to Chick-fil-A, got me my little free sandwich, and yes, Richard.
All that money you got, you really use your past education job to get a free sandwich.
I'm still a mentor to a lot of kids. I still mentor children. So I carry my ID with me, and I got my free Chick-fil-A. It was delicious. And I paid for fries, too, $2.50.
You wrong.
I ain't wrong. I'm just, I'm hungry. I was hungry. It was delicious. When I say it was good, it was delicious. Shout out to Chick-fil-A. So for those who are educators or those who have access to education, go ahead and get y'all a free sandwich today. This ain't no free ad. This is trying to help people. But 833-212-1017. Am I wrong for getting my free sandwich? I'm just saying. And listen, I'm not trying to give free ads for them, but they're giving out free food for those who are educators. And shout out to all the educators and myself, who was a mentor to many young kids, for getting my free sandwich today. So that's that. But what I want to do is, y'all know Rhea, this is her first day producing my show full time, and I want to do off the top here for this segment because I do got to get something off my chest, and I want to get it off my chest right about now.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Off the Top on Truth to Power. Kyle, let Truth Nation know what you got to get off your chest today.
Truth Nation, so last week, the Philadelphia Eagles went to the White House, and they did a tradition that many know. The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl this year, the 2024-2025 season Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl, and they got invited to the White House. And as many teams do, they go to the White House and they go be with the president, right? That's what a lot of teams choose to do. Now, there was a little bit of controversy behind this year's celebration of the Super Bowl going to the White House. Not because of people publicly saying they weren't going to go, but because of something that a player of the Philadelphia Eagles did. Now, this player of the Philadelphia Eagles is Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is a hell of a running back, a great athlete, a great football player. Now, Saquon Barkley, before his day at the White House, took time to go golfing with Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump is a very, very controversial figure. He is the president of the United States, but he's very controversial, and many people look at Donald Trump as being very anti-African American. Saquon Barkley is an African American. Now, Saquon Barkley went golfing with Donald Trump and took a picture with Donald Trump, and the White House shared the picture, and he was destroyed on social media for taking a picture with Donald Trump. He was destroyed on social media because many people were against him using his right and his freedom to be able to associate with whoever he is. So he got a lot of backlash in the news last week for deciding to align himself with Donald Trump in this moment. He saw people who were giving him the smoke, as Tory Lowe would say, on social media about taking a photo with Donald Trump and golfing with Donald Trump, and he decided that he wasn't going to stand for it, and he was going to reply to people. I quote on Twitter, Saquon Barkley on Twitter X said, "I love how some people," he said, "LOL, some people are really upset because I golfed and flew to the White House with the president." Yeah, he flew to the White House with the president, too. He was on a plane. "Maybe I just respect the office. Not a hard concept to understand. I golfed with Obama not too long ago and look forward to finishing my round with Trump. Now y'all get out my mentions with all this politics and have an amazing day." Now, again, as an American citizen, I feel like you have every right to voice your opinion. I feel like you have every right to vote for who you want to, support who you want to, and you have every right to hang out who you want to. So Saquon Barkley, you are absolutely right. You have every single right as an American citizen to cozy up, be with whoever you choose to be with. That is your right. But Saquon, what you got to understand, because I think that you've been too wealthy a little bit too long in the NFL, and maybe that milk that you drink at home may be getting to you, and you make you forget who you are and what you come from, and understanding that you aren't entitled to tell other people what we can say or what we can't say. Because just like you can do what you want to do, we as American citizens, I have the right to judge any person. I have the right to judge the company you keep. I have the right to be critical of you, and I don't have to care about it hurting your feelings, because I have every right to come and draw conclusions that I want. So you're right, Saquon. People shouldn't, they should get their panties out of a bunch about that. But at the end of the day, if people want to criticize you and be critical and be in your mentions, that's exactly what they can do. And see, my thing with Saquon Barkley that upsets me is not the fact that Saquon stood up for himself, but there's some other things that goes on in Saquon's life. Now, as someone who has dated and I've been with people of all different races, and I done tasted the rainbow now. I'm tell you that right now. Well, that's a weird way to say it. I don't think I want to say it that way. But y'all looking at me like that. I didn't mean for it to come out that way. Well, all I'm trying to say is I done dated all types of women, right? So I'm not against Saquon Barkley, because Saquon currently has a white fiance, which that's fine. That's cool. It is what it is, Saquon. Do what you want to do. But one thing that I kind of get from him, and the feelings I get from him, is I hate and I detest when African-American men believe dating outside of their race, dating an Asian woman, a white woman, a Hispanic woman, whatever it is, dating outside their race elevates them, because it does not. It does not elevate your blackness whatsoever. Now, y'all may be thinking I'm just, throwing this on Saquon Barkley. No, I'm not just throwing it on Saquon Barkley. There's some things that have happened in Saquon's past that make me want to throw it on Saquon Barkley. That's what made me draw to this conclusion, because if y'all go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube, if y'all go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube, I'm going to show you a simple image from a tweet from a woman. Now, this woman is white, and this woman, just like the woman yesterday, not as hard. She didn't go as hard, but her name is Anna Condon. She is the fiance of Saquon Barkley. Now, the fiance is Saquon Barkley, and also the mother of his children, his black children, which I don't know if she understands that or not, years ago tweeted out some tweets when she was a teenager. That if you go on 1017 The Truth on YouTube, you'll be able to see these tweets. But she tweeted out some tweets that I say would be quite offensive. Saquon Barkley is not married to, but his fiance tweeted out some very, very offensive things about African Americans when she was a teenager. Now, a lot of people try to say, oh, she was only a teenager, we shouldn't judge. Oh, forget that. Bumps that. Because what she said back in 2012, in 2012 she was a teenager, she said, replace a Disney movie with a nigga. The cheetah nigga. That's what she said. This was tweeted for her account. She also said, she said she ain't messing with no broke niggas. That's what she said.
Damn.
She said, I ain't no gold digger, but I ain't messing with no broke niggas. And then she also said, I thoroughly enjoy calling my mom a nigga. That was from 2012 to 2013. Now, this girl's 26, 27 years old, so I understand she was young. I understand that she was young. She was 13, 14, 15 years old. But guess what, y'all? When I was 13, 14, 15 years old, I knew that I shouldn't say certain things. Matter of fact, to be honest, I didn't start cussing until I was probably 17, 18 years old, because I was told I shouldn't say those words. And so the big issue I have with this is that Saquon Barkley decided to get on one knee and propose to a woman who has used the N-word in the past and also now has black children with him. And my issue is this, is that these tweets that you see on 1017 The Truth of Saquon Barkley's girlfriend using the N-word multiple times, this was brought to light before the Super Bowl. Saquon was silent, didn't say a word about it. And then again last week, when Saquon decided that he was going to golf with Donald Trump, these tweets were put out again of his fiance using the N-word. Now, this is where my issue comes. These tweets were out here about his fiance saying nigga, the white woman, but he only decided to respond when people criticize him for keeping the company of Donald Trump. This is where I have the problem at. This is why I say some people think when they date outside their race, they're actually elevating themselves. Because excuse me, as somebody who has dated outside his race, if any one of these white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever women it is, if they would have said the N-word, they would have got cussed the hell out, and I would have told them to kick rocks. But not Saquon. Not him at all. He decided not to address it. He could have made a statement and said, this happened a long time ago with my now fiance, and we've grown past that. But nope, not the case with Saquon. So I just felt like I had to bring this up because Saquon made a choice to golf with the president of the United States. And when he got backlash for it, he commented on it. But when people brought up the fact that his now fiance and the mother of his children used the N-word years ago, which, okay, it was a mistake. They can apologize. What is your fiance doing to uplift the black community? How has she grown from that? They didn't even address that. They were just at the Met Gala yesterday. So this is where my issue is with Saquon. He made a choice to align himself with somebody like Donald Trump. But shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles such as Jalen Hurts, such as Devontae Smith, such as A.J. Brown, who decided to say they weren't going to associate with Donald Trump and that they were going to have other scheduling conflicts that kept them from going to the White House. I respect them, gentlemen, because this is not the time to align yourself and try to say, oh, well, you know, Donald Trump's not that bad. Forget all that. Donald Trump has decimated the black community, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more and why on the other side. But 833-212-1017, should we judge people off their political affiliation? Because I, for one, am judging Saquon Barkley. I actually like Saquon. I don't like him no more. I don't, because there's no way you can see what is happening right now politically and think that this is okay. To think that I'm going to go cozy up and buddy up with this person, with the person in the White House because of the office. He don't respect that office. He doesn't. You look like an idiot, Saquon. You do. 833-212-1017. Do you also judge people based off their political affiliation? Because I used to try to be cordial, but at this point, I don't care. So I just had to get that off my chest for today. 833-212-1017. Before we run the break and get to the other side, Miss Lana Banana, you got some comments on Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see anything wrong with you getting your free sandwich. That they just saying thank you for the good work. You know, get your free sandwich.
Exactly.
And then now with this, and with this Raekwon, what's his name?
Saquon Barkley.
I think Saquon Barkley. Yeah, I think he didn't address when his fiance, whoever said the N-word, because she probably called him that. And I think, in my opinion, I think he might be one of them black people that when he gets around white people, he'll let them say the black joke, say the N-word, and he'll laugh, and he'll probably even put in the black joke and say the N-word. And then I don't judge people on their political affiliation. I judge them on their action, like how they treat me, how they present themselves and others.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. And here's the thing, is you don't know Saquon, I don't know Saquon, but we know based off his actions and the company that he keeps with hanging around with the president who's made disparaging comments about African Americans and marrying somebody, deciding to propose to a woman who has made insensitive comments and made things and said the N-word as a teenager. She knew what she was doing was wrong. Is that's the company that he keeps. So I think you coming to the conclusion that he believes that you believe that he allows white people to say the N-word around him. I don't think that's a bad conclusion for you to draw, because he showed and say he didn't. He didn't speak out against it. So thank you, Ms. Atlanta Banana.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right, peace.
I appreciate that, because for me, I mean, people think you should forgive white people or other people for using the N-word, but at this moment in time, no. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Like the lady who is got over $600,000 for saying the N-word in Rochester, Minnesota to a young child, No, there is never forgiveness for that. For the people that donated to that, there's no forgiveness for that. There is no forgiveness whatsoever. And to see what they did to Kanye West, and Kanye crazy. Let's not get it twisted. Kanye is crazy. But to see how they tried to destroy Kanye West's career for saying things, to see how they tried to destroy Kyrie Irving's career for retweeting out a video link to a video that had some negativity in it, and they claim anti-Semitism to it. It's interesting how they absolutely will destroy African Americans for doing certain things, but when other people use the N-word, we're looking for an apology. I'm saying this right now. I will not forgive any white person for using the N-word. Period. No, you're not forgiven for it. You're not. Now, this young girl, she did it when she was young, and she knew it was wrong, but I haven't heard her say it was wrong. I haven't heard her apologize. Do I need to hear it? I mean, maybe not. I don't need to hear it. But when you're a public figure, which she is a public figure, she was at the Met Gala last night. Ain't cheap to be there. She dates one of the best NFL players in the world right now. And I think as her being a mother to black children, who I don't want to talk bad about the kids, but I would say this. There were some pictures of the kids back during the season where I was just like, come on now, Saquon. You better get them together. You got your kids out here. You got too much money to have your kids out here looking like that with that white woman. But I do believe if you are specifically a white woman and you have black children, it is your responsibility to make sure your black children understand their roots, their history, and to speak out against racism and hate. So it is so confusing to me how Saquon Barkley could be engaged to somebody that used language like that in the past, and then when it was brought to light, instead of addressing it, they stayed absolutely silent. But when he was golfing with Donald Trump, he felt like he needed to comment against black people and other people that were negative towards him golfing with Donald Trump. 833-212-1017. That's the Truth Talk to text line. I would love to hear your comments on this conversation about Saquon Barkley golfing with Donald Trump, but more so than that, him basically being engaged to a woman that used the N-word in the past and not addressing that situation. 833-212-1017. That's the Truth Talk to text line. I see you, Lisa. We'll get to you on the other side. Also on YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube. You can watch and stream us live on YouTube. I see some of y'all comments there. We'll get to that on the other side. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Walls on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Truth Nation, the time is almost here. Be sure to tap into the Tory Lowe Show Friday, May 2nd, as I'll be giving away $5,000 to one of our lucky Truth fans who were entered in to win the Gruber Law Office's $5,000 giveaway. Again, that's Friday, May 2nd, when we'll be giving away $5,000 to one of our lucky Truth fans between 1 and 4 right here on the Tory Lowe Show. Remember, you have to be tapped into the show in order to be our next Gruber Law Office $5,000 winner right here on 1017 The Truth.
Boy, was I not suited and booted for the draft last week, all because of my friends at Nick Cavani's $100 hookup suit I had. Looked so good. I had the green lapel, green bow tie. I even had the green shoes because of the stylist. They can actually style you up. So whether or not it's a prom coming up for somebody that you love, a graduation, or any celebration that you have, make sure you visit Nick Cavani's for the $100 hookup. Get hooked up today by visiting Nick Cavani's on the second floor of Mayfair Mall, or visit nickcavani's.com.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Using gas to heat our homes can be dangerous, but we have the technology to transition to clean electric alternatives. My name is Matt Vespa. I'm a senior attorney at Earth Justice, and I'm going to court to fight for clean energy. Until safe, affordable clean energy is an option in every home, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org.
This is your Planned Parenthood Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So Black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do. But I don't want that to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other Black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute. It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host, Kyle Wallace, here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And on the other side, we were having a conversation talking about Saquon Barkley, the star running back in the NFL who plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, who just last week visited the White House, but he had some great, one-on-one time with Donald Trump, the President Donald Trump. And he flew on to the White House with Donald Trump, did a round of golf with Donald Trump, and he got a lot of backlash for it. And he chose to speak out against it because he felt like that was his right to do it, which he should have. But where I draw an issue is the fact that he decided to speak out against that. But when people brought up the fact that his now fiance and the mother of his two children used the N-word, and those resurfaced on the internet not only in February before the Super Bowl, but also after this incident happened last week, he had nothing to say about it. He did not address it. And to me, that shows me who Saquon Barkley is, which leads me to want to judge Saquon Barkley. But 833-212-1017. Lisa, what are your thoughts and comments on this conversation?
Look, my Black people, calm down, calm down. Leave Saquon, Cedric Quan, whatever his name is, leave that boy alone. Let little OJ do little OJ.
Oh, wow.
Now, somebody need to sit that boy down and show him that OJ story. See, he's following his daddy's footsteps. So let him play with Saquon, Cedric, whatever boy look, Cedric. Go play golf with the trumpet. Like OJ did, your daddy did. Go get you a dump the beautiful black wife that you had was catering for you, and everything, and go mess with the white girl and go marry the white girl and her destroy your whole life. It's okay. Send your kids out there with their hair not combed. You got all that money, and you tell me you can't find a beautician or a barber or whatever do them kids' hair. Look here, Saquon. You're starting off on the wrong foot already. Look. Take our advice. We're not trying to tell you wrong now. We see your future. And it ain't looking good. Look, I done been around people that got a lot of money. And one of the world's biggest entertainers said, don't matter how much money you got. And he looked at me with his eyes, because he do have a lot of money. His eyes open as a joke. He said, you steal it. And he walked away. So I don't care how much money. They don't care about your notoriety, your fame, whatever you are. At the end of the day, you steal it, and that contract holds you bound to that. That's why he stopped signing contracts.
No, I see. Yeah. I hear you. I absolutely hear you. My biggest thing with Saquon is that, again, it's the fact that I feel like Saquon is tone deaf to everything going on, and again, it is not his responsibility to defend the black community. It is not his responsibility to have to be anti-Trump. He doesn't have to do all that. Saquon has every right to make the decision that he wants to make for himself, that he believes is best for himself. But what bothered me is the fact that he took the time to speak out against the black community, right? When the black community gave him backlash, I'm sure some liberals gave him backlash too, but when a lot of black folks spoke out against this, right? Because it's not about just going to the White House. It's about going and flying on the helicopter with Donald Trump. It's about going golfing with Donald Trump, and it's about addressing the backlash that people gave you. See, Jalen Hurts made a decision that he felt was right for him, which is his decision, his choice. Some people may say he was being disrespectful. But as a black person, when I see what's going on with the White House, I feel like it's indefensible for you to be hanging out with Donald Trump like that and then try to chastise people who are making comments about you, knowing dang well at your home, your woman might be calling you the damn N-word. I don't know what y'all do, some freaky stuff. Y'all NFL players is freaky. We know that from Shannon Sharp. 833-212-1017. Black Conscious, what are your comments here on Saquon Barkley?
Man, I don't have no comment for that because, you know, Master's been very good to us. He lets us on the plane. He gave us some scrappers from off the table. So don't be surprised by that, man. You're going to have a whole lot of people. Look at, what's the brother, the big truth guy, Scott, kissing up, and they ain't put him on his tab
Tim
yet.
Scott.
So we gonna have people like that. They got their head so far these pink toes butt. So, you know, we just recognize for who they are. And for that young lady that went on, I agree with Lisa. For that young lady who was doing that, to call them kids or whatever, hey, she birthed the little ninjas, so she has that right. So I mean,
so y'all basically saying, hey, like, hey, you know, she said it when she was young, but now she got black kids, so she can say the N-word all she want?
She can, man, listen, it ain't gonna hurt none of our backs, because they just getting a taste from home, what the streets gonna give them, and even worse. So whatever she says, it ain't gonna change nothing from you. It ain't gonna change nothing from me. It's another word. And at this time, let's start putting more power into it, because it is what it is. There's probably a lot of that rolling around in the White House more than we ever know. So if we waste energy on trying to chase this down to get an apology, good luck with that. I'm not standing in line for that one. I got better things to focus on and better things to achieve than that.
Conscious. I feel you.
After all,
I feel you.
Live righteous, Milwaukee.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I guess it's me, and I can't put my beliefs on anybody else. I can just share my beliefs and my thoughts. But for me, if you have that position of power, and I'm one that I believe in accountability, and I believe in doing what's right. When you make a mistake, that is okay. You know what? It is okay to say, whoops, my bad. Like, it is okay. We all are going to make mistakes. We all have done things. Listen, I tell people, listen, I used to use the F word. I don't say it now. And I ain't talking about that F word. I'm talking about the F word that we used to describe homosexuals back in the day. And when I was in middle school and high school, I used to use that word because that was part of the times. I used to say that. Now, I knew when I said it wasn't the best thing to be saying, but I used to use that word. But as I grew and I atoned, I said, my bad, I shouldn't have used that word, and I don't use that word. But I'm okay with addressing that and saying I grew, right? Society evolves, and when you evolve with society, you can grow. Now, in 2012, 2013, saying nigga, that's on social media. I mean, come on now. That's bad. But the thing is that I'll talk about it, and I apologize, and I said, hey, I'm better than that, and I did not tell other people you shouldn't say stuff like that. And I feel like I don't have the amount of power that Saquon Barkley has, and even though his fiance and the mother of his child made these mistakes back in the day, he had a perfect opportunity to, instead of addressing the nonsense with people being against him hanging with Trump, he had a perfect opportunity after the Super Bowl to address this and also continue to support the black community. And I feel like he absolutely dropped the ball with that, and I think it shows a lot about his character. On the Truth Talking Text, on YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube. You can watch and stream us live on YouTube. JD the Poet said, he gave a little more information about Saquon. He said Saquon was born in the Bronx and moved to the white area at the age of 4. Sometimes we want better for our families, and we still have to be cognizant of black history and the struggle of blackness in America. Ding, ding, ding. 833-212-1017. That's the Truth Talk to text line. Now, we talked about Saquon, and now I want to talk about some of his cousins who voted to decimate and eliminate the black middle class, because I'm going to tell y'all this right now. I'm going to play some audio clip on the other side, and we need to be aware of with these federal government cuts, who's actually hurting and what is ruining. And it's ruining people that look just like you and I, Truth Nation. I'll tell you exactly why on the other side. Keep it locked. You're listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Walls right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
Ready to join the fun? With Girl Scouts extended year membership from Girl Scouts,
you can sign up by June 30th and get up to 18 months of adventure through September 30th, 2026.
Girls starting kindergarten or first grade in 2025 will also receive 3 Get Ready with Girl Scouts activity books,
featuring games, crafts, and stories the whole family will love, for free. Plus, you'll even get a special gift from the Girl Scouts. Join today and get ready to grow, explore, and shine with Girl Scouts.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 101.7 The Truth.
What was the life change? We all know it happened, and we know things happen, and you have bad kidneys, but what was the life change afterwards?
A couple things. Before they even allow you to get on the list, they make you go through a battery of tests. And, a lot of people don't qualify because they're overweight, or they have high blood pressure or high cholesterol. So all those things are requirements before you can even get approved to be on the list. So I had...
Wait, you got to be approved to be on the list?
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's interesting. There's a professional athlete or former professional athlete I know right now that has kidney disease, and he's on dialysis. And he wants to get on the list, and he's not accepting all the things you have to do, to get on the list. But yeah, so for me, I spent 30 years in the automobile industry. That's 12, 14-hour days, eating whatever somebody brings you to eat, whatever you run out and grab, McDonald's, whatever. It was never salads and,
Yeah, but that was a choice, right?
It was a choice. Yeah. But I had to change all of that to even qualify to be on the list. I had to get down to the weight I had to be at. I had to get my phosphorus under control, my potassium under control.
Wait a minute. Even though somebody said they would give you a kidney,
absolutely,
you had to still make yourself eligible?
Absolutely.
Nah, that's okay.
When I mentioned the athlete, his relative actually died, and they wanted to take his organs, and they couldn't because he wasn't qualified. He wasn't on the list. Wow. Yeah, you have to be.
So there are over 100,000 people on that waiting list. So they are very serious.
And how many donors do we have?
And that's the problem. We don't have nearly enough donors.
Wow.
And that's why it's such a critical need. But they are serious about who they're giving that gift of life to, because there are so many people who are literally dying waiting for it.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. Milwaukee Brewers got their second win in a row on Monday night, this time in Game 1 of a 3-game series against the Houston Astros by a final score of 5-1.
The 2-2. Breaking ball hammered deep. Right center field. Way back. Cam Smith at the track. The wall. Goodbye. Yelich delivers a 2-run, 2-out home run in the third, and the Brewers have a 3-0 lead.
With the win, the Brewers improved to 18-18 on their season. They're back at it tonight against the Astros. 6:40 with the first pitch. Chad Patrick on the mound for the Brew Crew. Over to the NBA, where both road teams got wins in Game 1 of the East and West semifinals. The Knicks beating the Celtics 108-105, and the Nuggets beating the Thunder 121-119. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
More of Truth to Power is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Roll another one.
One call, that's all, with Gruber Law Office. If you or a loved one is ever injured in an accident, don't hesitate. Make one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Office. They will take care of you. It's starting to heat up. And when it heat up a little bit, people drive a little reckless and drive a little crazy. I want to make sure that you are safe on the road. If something does happen, it's good to know we have a law firm right here in our backyard with Gruber Law Office who will stand up for you. Don't go back and forth with the insurance companies. If you get into an accident, they say, I'm going to take your number, I'm going to take it. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. What you do is you call Gruber Law Offices today, and they will take care of you. I understand it's a traumatizing time, and that's why it's great to have a law firm like them, Gruber Law Offices, who will focus on getting and winning your case while you can focus on healing. So call them today at 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666, or visit them at gruber-law.com. And remember, you never pay a single penny until they win your case at Gruber Law Offices. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I'm your host, Kyle Wallace, and we talked about Saquon Barkley and his racist-ass woman. He's black, she's white, she used the N-word. But now I want to talk about the federal workers and how we have to understand that these layoffs that we are seeing are calculated and are definitely against African Americans and anti-black. And I want y'all to understand that for fools who voted for Donald Trump, you voted to hurt black America and you voted to ruin the middle class of black America in many different places. Now, when you voted for Donald Trump, what you did not understand is that you were voting to destabilize the black job market. Now, some of y'all may be saying, what are you talking about? I'm going to tell you this, is that what we have to understand is that the federal workers that are losing their jobs, all that slashing, the stuff that Doge did, right? When you cut federal workforce, you are negatively impacting the black community. So for those who are talking about, oh, you know, I don't want to vote for the Democrats because they did this or they did that, understand that your vote for Trump negatively impacted the people that look just like you, and you sacrifice the advancement of your own people, the stability of your own people out of your own upsetness at a certain party. You kamikaze us. You don't know what a kamikaze is, Google it. World War II kamikaze planes. The Japanese. Yes, that's what you did as an African American when you voted for Donald Trump. You got into a damn plane and you crashed into a building, you crashed into a boat, you crashed into our community. That's what you did. Now, y'all may think, Kyle, this is hyperbole. It's absolutely not hyperbole. I'll tell you why. So some of us may or may not know there's a lot of wealthy places that have African Americans across this country. Now, many of y'all talk about moving to Texas, Dallas, talk about Atlanta, right? As some of the places that we moved to, right? But there's two other places that have long-standing history of wealthy African Americans, and those places are in Maryland and D.C., right? There's a county called Prince George County in the Maryland area, which is one of the richest black counties in the country. A place called Montgomery County, another rich black county in Maryland. And a lot of the individuals who work there have old money, but a lot of them have great jobs, and a lot of them are federal jobs where they make good money. Now, if you put two and two together, when you cut federal jobs from a community that is that close to D.C., a lot of that's going to impact African Americans. And unfortunately, when you saw these federal government cuts, you saw black families lose their stability. You saw black families lose their job because, listen, 1 in 5 black Marylanders and people in D.C. were employed by the federal government. That's 20% of people from the state of Maryland. 20% black people in Maryland. 20% work for the federal government. 20% of black people who live in D.C. work for the federal government. The federal government as a whole, so those who work for the federal government across this country, 18.5% of those individuals are black folks. We make up 14% of the population, but we make up almost a fifth of the total federal workforce. So when we talk about cutting jobs, right, we talk about the impact, right? We may talk about it, but there's people who actually feel it. There's people who actually feel the pain of losing a job, whether it's hurting their family. I want y'all to go to YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube, because I want y'all to hear the pain in the voice of this woman who was at Ayanna Pressley, who was a U.S. representative. She had, a town hall, and people from the community came to the town hall. And while Saquon Barkley is smiling and shucking and jiving with Donald Trump, there are people in this country that don't look like him, but also who look like him, who are fighting against what Donald Trump is doing because Donald Trump has people feeling like this. I think do we have a video here? All right. All right, so we're still working on our audio. And so at the end of the day, when we're talking about federal employees and federal workers, we have to understand is that African Americans historically, right? We go back to World War II, we go back to the 60s as well, right? Is that a lot of people, my own parents, were pushed into working as teachers. Were pushed into working for the government, right? Because black people in our community were pushed to work in these jobs that accepted them. Because we have to understand the federal government, education, a lot of those places, especially the federal government, were more progressive in their hiring practices and the retention of African Americans. So this is why a lot of us ended up going in that direction. It had stability, job stability. It had good pay. It had good benefits. It gave African Americans an opportunity to rise up. That's what these federal jobs did. So when you think about them cutting DEI and them cutting federal jobs, they're cutting it from places like the Department of Housing and Urban Development, which is a black job because 36% of the workforce who works for that department is black. When we think about the Smithsonian and you talk about the African American Historical Museum that they have there and the cuts that are coming from there and the things they're taking out, the historical things they're taking out, do understand for the Smithsonians that they have in D.C., that's a black job. 40% of the workforce is black. When we talk about the Department of Education, 36% of the total people who work for the Department of Education is black. Social Security Administration, 30% of people are black. When we talk about DEI and the initiatives, a lot of the people who lead those programs are black people. So, Truth Nation, what I need y'all to understand is that when we see these federal cuts are negatively impacting the black community. 833-212-1017. Are you concerned about someone in your family losing a job? Do you believe Trump is destroying the black community? 833-212-1017, because I'm here to tell you, yes, for those who voted for Trump, those individuals are kamikaze voters against the black community. You can't tell me nothing he's done for us, but I can show you what he's done against us. 833-212-1017. I just want y'all to understand these numbers. 1 in 5 African Americans who live in the state of Maryland and live in the District of Columbia, work for the federal government, have good paying jobs. They're losing their jobs. He is decimating and destabilizing a black community that is the wealthiest. Prince George County is the wealthiest black community, the richest black community in this country. And one man is ruining that. 833-212-1017. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017. The Truth. What are your comments on this conversation?
My comments is, Kyle, we can't worry about the self-hating blacks. That's between they mammy and they pappy. But let's be honest, when it comes to Donald Trump, he's not the greatest and he's not the smart. Who's behind him? Is anybody going to say who got him up to it? Because stick him behind. It's not the Christians. Because the people that's behind slaughtered 66 million Christians. And they're still getting treated like peasants. Who's behind them, Kyle? You going to say it? Because everybody calling in, they don't want to say it.
Well, who is it, Al?
It starts with jewelry. But it's 3 letters, the first 3 letters. They are the ones behind this chaos. Donald Trump is not smart. He might be white, but he ain't smart. And for those white evangelist Christians, y'all are still getting treated like peasants. And they're still laughing all the way to the bank. So who is it? Anybody gonna say it? Because Candace Owens said it. And they want her to go to jail.
Oh yeah, Candace Owens did speak out, and I missed Al. What were you alluding to? Because are you alluding to Tory?
No, ain't nobody worried about Tory. That's small time. We talking about the big fish.
Okay,
the Moby Dick of the ocean.
Okay, because I'm gonna say thank you.
Who's behind it?
Because I'm gonna say, because one thing I say is this. Is that one thing I love about my brother Tory? I don't give a dang who he voted for because I know that boy be in the streets, that man be in the streets and that man be helping families. So I could give a damn who he voted for because one thing about him, he is about that action. Absolutely about that action. So I'm not concerned about that one because what I do know is a lot of people do talking, but very few do walking, and my brother does a lot of walking. Miss Sandra on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your comments on this conversation?
Hi, Kyle. Okay. My comment is everybody's asking where they come up with all this stuff is in the making anyways for years and years and years. And if you listen to, I listen to Reverend Barber, and he really go down in the trenches, and he can really tell you how all this got started with the Tea Party, and a lot of this is the Heritage Foundation. A lot of people we shop with, they're on the list. That's why you see a lot of these stores taking DEI and all that stuff out. We shop with these people. Now they want to criminalize us. See, if we don't have a job, you know what's going to happen. People are going to steal. So now they want to criminalize it. They want to put the military down here, which they are. They started building Cop City in Atlanta, and they're militarizing the police. So they're going to have military weapons, tanks, and all of this stuff. So this stuff is on purpose. Now, Trump, he's a hater. His dad was Ku Klux Klan. Plus, he got sued by the ACP. So he's picking a vendetta. And he's using blacks because they can always use black people for this.
I just feel like we have no value. We have no value to him, right, Sandra? Black people have no value to Donald Trump, and that's why that's why he doesn't care.
But they're gonna give some value. How you give value to somebody telling you to go wipe you off the map? He told us. He told us this. And these football players, whatever they are, they got big money. See, and we go to the games. And we support all of them. And see, even when we spend our money, and so that's why I was telling you a lot of this stuff, Walmarts and all of these things, we spend our money with all these people, but then they holler and say, our money don't stay in our neighborhood but one day, but we're still kicked in the butt. If my money don't stay in here but one day, that means I'm supporting you, so why can't you support me?
Thank you, Miss Sandra. 833-212-1017. We're going to continue this conversation on the other side. We wrap up. I'm going to play the video for y'all because I feel like you need to hear this video because I think people really need to understand what's going on. But 833-212-1017 on the other side, I'm going to play an emotional video that I think you have to hear so you understand that these are real human lives that are being negatively impacted by some of the policies that a lot of y'all voted for. You kamikaze voters that tried to decimate and destroy the black community. You did it to yourself.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
Here at the new 101.7 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 101.7 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices, Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need
the $100 hookup.
This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, tie, and shoes, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the
$100 hookup.
And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavanis.com.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. We're having I would say a good discussion talking about the fact that 20% of federal workers that work in Maryland and D.C. who have good paying jobs are African Americans, and a lot of them are taking the brunt of a lot of the cuts. Winky Blue, I got about 30 seconds for you before I got to play this video. I don't have too much time, but I wanted to give you some time here, Winky. Thanks for calling in.
Brother, I heard you saying that they don't care about us. And the other lady that was calling said the same thing. Listen, brother, this is the problem. We don't have any representation. Okay, because the representation that we have is not representing. You talked about the 18% in D.C., the 20%, the 14% of the population we are. We gave them 20% to pull that man over the doggone top. Okay, the black vote. They haven't had 20% of the black vote since God knows when. Okay, they usually get about 8%. Who's representing? Who's asking questions? Where do we get? Who's representing the 20%? So we got to get together on our own. We're working on some letters right now to get in the right hand, because we need to be presented. We need to represent.
Winky, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure, go ahead, brother.
All right, and I just need yes or no. Have you been satisfied within the first 100 days of Donald Trump for the black community specifically?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right, cool. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Really quickly, though, I want y'all to hear this video here. It's a federal worker whose family is being decimated by what's happening with the government.
I'm losing my job and my baby is over in another country and can't come home. She works for USA. We're both public servants. Yes, and nobody is helping. Have the Democrats make a call and have everybody show up in Washington, D.C. and take back our country on. They get ready to take the money that I worked hard for since I was 16 years old. And now I'm 57. And I won't have nothing. And I'm struggling. I am struggling. And they don't get it. I don't understand. Democrats, we got to get down and dirty.
Here's the understanding of this is that the black community, when we couldn't find jobs back in the day, a lot of people were able to depend on the education system to go and get a better education. But then also a lot of people work for the postal office, right? I know Sherwin here, he talks about his parents and when they got a job, I want to say in like the 60s, right? Or 70s. And so a lot of people were able to depend on becoming educators. A lot of people were able to depend on working for the local government. That's what we were able to depend on. And so when we think about this, 18.5% of African Americans work for the federal government. And when you talk about the slashing of this, this is going to negatively impact us and impact the black community. This has been Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am Kyle Wallace, and I want to thank y'all so much for listening here today. Tomorrow I'll be joined by Dame LZ. We're going to talk a little bit about Paul Pearce and some of the comments that he made. Is marrying worth it? We'll find out tomorrow, but thank y'all for joining me today. The Tory Lowe Show is up next for Wonderful, but Truth to Power will be back tomorrow. Peace out.
It started with a prediction.
Go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks